Hey friends, welcome to another Wolverine video. I am sorry that I haven't been posting more often or more consistently. I am still very new to this YouTube thing and I'm finding that it requires quite a bit more of my time than I was expecting, and then also I end up making all of these things and then not making a video of it, and then my husband and I are always joking about the YouTubes that could have been, because this week, for instance, I made a sugar scrub and I made a tincture, I made protein powder mix, I made capsules, I did a lot of crocheting, and so I'm discovering that I'm a terrible YouTuber. So bear with me while I become more consistent as a YouTuber. It's really interesting to me because I thrive on consistency and scheduling, but since I got sick, since I got really sick, I haven't been great about it because you can't always predict what you're going to do. So I think it's helpful for me to set a goal of doing it once a week, making a video once a week. I think I could do that. Of course, if I skip a week, I'm not going to beat myself up for it, but I would like to become more consistent as a YouTuber. So those of you who are here for crochet, thank you so much for being here. I did want to let you know that I do have a group on Facebook and I do monthly giveaways in that group. I do monthly cover photo contests and things, flash giveaways. So if you're interested in a peaceful crochet community and you would like to, be involved in those types of things, find us online on Facebook. It's called the Yarn Pals Sanctuary Group, and I will link it in the description box below when I post this video as well. I think we're at 125 people. There's a few of you on YouTube that are also on my in my group. It's a group that I started myself about, I want to say a year ago, and I think I have 125 members, and it's really nice because it's not just a yarn community. It's also if you're having trouble with something, we're very supportive of each other. So it definitely has, sanctuary in the name for a reason. It's a safe place. And if you're here for herbalism, I do have a group on Facebook. It's the Crow Boutique Sharing Herbal Knowledge group, and I will also link that down below. I'm not as active in that group because I was hoping that people would ask more questions, and people just don't. So I kind of forget that that group exists sometimes. I would love to have some new members start getting me more active into it. But the idea behind the group is that you can ask anything about herbs and I will happily answer if I have the information, and if not, I'll find it for you. So that's another fun little community group that you could be a part of. All right, so what have I done this week, aside from forget to film everything? I was working on Bernie Sanders, little naked Bernie Sanders, and I finished him, so I'm going to splice some photos into this video, hopefully right now. Yeah, so I finished him and I got him in the mail today, and I also mailed off the Trinity Stitch baby blanket that I did. I'm going to do a tutorial. I got the yarn to do a tutorial for the Trinity Stitch blanket. It's made with Bernat Baby Marley yarn, which makes a really heavy blanket, which is awesome. Right now I'm working on this. This stitch is called the Lark's Foot stitch, and I'm making another baby blanket because you guessed it, there's even more pregnant people in my life. This one is for somebody who it's their rainbow baby, so I'm really excited about this one. I kind of had to take some time away from it to make the clothes for Bernie because Bernie is actually was a paid commission from a friend of mine who's so patient and wonderful, but I didn't want to keep her waiting, so I finished Bernie. I'm so happy with how he turned out. When you see, I probably just posted pictures of him, but yeah, I'm really excited about how he turned out. I made his mask with a coffee filter and some of those little bitty rubber bands for doing girls' hair. My daughter has a bunch of those, so I just took a couple and made a little mask, and then I made glasses out of wire, and I made him a little traveling hat, and I even gave him a little manila envelope, which is part of a bigger envelope I just cut up, and I don't know. It's one of the best projects that I've done lately. I'm so proud of him, and I know that my friend is going to love him and he's going to be well taken care of. But it was really, really hard for me to stick that box in the mail today because I love him so much. And I know even if I do it again, it's not going to be the same as the first one because I didn't write down the pattern. Which is why I should have filmed myself making him, because then I could have done the pattern. So, I mean, I hope that at least on my channel you get a sense of the organic nature of my life. I definitely have never considered that I might be somebody planning my YouTube or scheduling, you know, posts in a Facebook group or whatever. I never really thought that social media of any kind was going to be such a big part of my life, and I'm excited because it means that I can reach a lot of people with, you know, different knowledge about herbs, knowledge about crochet, knowledge about EDS, which is really important to spread awareness. Some other things that I've been doing, and this is what's really kept me busy this week aside from crochet, is I have been doing intuitive readings. Before any of you guys call me a witch and get scared and run away, please don't. I'm good people. I am a person of faith. This is just a tool that I use with other people. I do use tarot cards, but I'm not like opening the door for the devil or anything. I always pray before I do a reading. And for some of you guys who are new here, you might not know, when my son was born 11 years ago, it'll be 12 years in April, I actually had a near-death experience. And I know I've been meaning to like make a video telling that story for a while now, but it's kind of a tough one to make because like where does it fit in, you know? So I guess now is as good a time as any to tell you about it before I get into my readings and how I do them. This might be especially comforting for those of you who are people of faith and have been taught that, you know, tarot cards are evil, or readings or witchcraft or whatever. I promise you I'm not a witch. I don't consider myself a witch. I'm also not a Christian. I've gone over this. I'm a Noahide, which means that I follow the laws that Noah would have followed before Moses came and found the laws on Mount Sinai. So it's an older religion. It's not really religion, it's more just like a way of life. To the Jews, we're called righteous Gentiles, and to the Christians, I probably fall into the pagan category. I don't know. It's fine. Point being, where my faith comes from. I have always been a person of faith. I've always believed in something bigger than myself. Growing up, I was always really fascinated with the idea of like death and dying, what happens after you die. And I was called morbid a lot. And then I went to school for massage therapy, and cadaver lab was part of that. And I've just always been fascinated with death in general. And if you're watching this and you're like me and you find yourself really attracted to like the dark aesthetic, and you're attracted to crows and spiders and things, you're not creepy, you're not weird, okay? God makes nothing imperfect. So don't let anybody tell you that you're anything other than wonderful, because you are. So the background is I grew up kind of going on and off to Christian and Baptist churches, and then I was baptized Lutheran, and then as an adult I kind of found my own way, different spiritualities and things I kind of tested out. But what really solidified my faith for me was my near-death experience. And I guess I'll tell you guys what happened. So I was 2 days overdue to give birth to my son, and my water broke. Before my water broke, I had a dream that my water broke. So here's how it went. I was sleeping on the couch. I had a dream that my water broke. I woke up. and my water broke. So that was like 8:15 in the morning. So I went and got my son's dad, he who shall not be named, and told him that we had to go to the hospital. So we get in the car and go to the hospital, and on the way there is a funeral procession, which I remember very vividly in my mind. I remembered feeling like that was significant on the way to the hospital, for a reason I couldn't quite put my finger on, and then, it stuck with me after all this time, so I feel like it's important to mention it. So we stopped at Subway to get something to eat because I knew that once I got to the hospital, they weren't going to give me anything but ice chips, and I hadn't eaten since the night before. So, pregnant lady, right? I went and got a Subway sandwich and ate that, and then I'm in labor. So we get to the hospital, and they admit me because my water is broken, and they put the monitors on my belly, and everything is great, everything's fine. Things are progressing, but slowly, so the doctor gives me Pitocin, which is a chemical hormone that makes your contractions stronger and more productive. The idea of which being it would speed up your labor. So it's been about 10 hours and I'm ready to start pushing. At this point I think I got the epidural at like 4 centimeters because I was trying to do a natural birth, and my son's dad was not very supportive. Like, I was contracting in the hallway, I'm giving birth, and he was laughing at me and making fun of me and calling me names. So I decided to get the epidural because there's only so much pain you can handle when you don't have any support. So I got the epidural and I'm laying in bed and it's time to start pushing. And I do that, and my son comes out and his cord is wrapped around his neck. But the nurses are amazing, the doctor's amazing, and she takes care of it right away, and he's fine. So he comes out, he's perfect, beautiful. And they clean him up and they hand him to me, and I'm holding him, and sorry, this is kind of graphic, but there's a process after the baby comes out, after birth happens. So I'm holding my son for the first time, and I didn't even know he was a boy because I waited to find out, so it was a surprise. And I'm just yelling, "It's a boy, it's a boy, it's a boy," and just bawling my eyes out. Most love I've ever felt in my life. It was so beautiful. And then I just started to feel weird. And I remember I was holding my son and I kind of set him off to the side. And one of the nurses, God bless her, she is so on it. She sees this and she grabs Jake and hands him to another nurse and says, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I don't know, I just feel weird." And she's like, "Okay, well, take a couple deep breaths. You just gave birth. That's kind of a big deal." I said, "No, something's not right." And she's like, "Okay, well, what is it, sweetheart?" And then I started to panic and I said, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe." And she said, "Well, you're talking, so you can breathe. So that's not what it is. So what is it, sweetheart? Are you okay?" And then I hear the doctor say she's hemorrhaging. And then almost at the same moment, I looked the nurse in the eye and I said, "Oh my God, it's my heart." And then I died. So what I remember is kind of this feeling of floating up out of my body, and I couldn't feel my physical body anymore, and I was just kind of like in the room, and I heard the nurse say, "I can't get a pulse, I can't get a pulse," and then the doctor saying, "Well, you better get a pulse because she just had a baby," and then another nurse running out of the room to get epinephrine, I believe, something to get my heart restarted. So I keep floating up, and then I'm kind of like sitting on this wall, and up above me, behind me, is this, it looks like the sun coming through water. Like if you were to sit on the bottom of a pool and look up through the water, it looks like the sun through water up behind me. And I look over to my left, and in the doorway, I see my great grandma Alice and a man I've never met, who I assume now, I think that was my great grandpa Edgar. But I'm not really sure. I still don't know. But that's who I think it was. And so they just kind of look at me and they're smiling and there's light pouring in through the doorway and it's beautiful and very peaceful. And I'm still aware of everything that's happening in the hospital. I know that they have given my son to one of the nurses and taken Jake's dad with him out of the hospital room because they didn't want him to see me in that condition, I guess. There was a lot of blood. And so I'm looking at my grandparents, my great-grandparents, and then I kind of feel myself going up even further. And, you know, I know they say there's like a tunnel of light and stuff. I didn't quite have that experience because the light was there, but I don't recall like going towards it. Instead, what kind of happened is it felt like I just went up and then I kind of like went out as if I were a drop of food coloring in a cup of water. You know, you just kind of like, it goes out. It doesn't stay solid. And so I'm going out in every direction and I am touching the edges of the universe. And I am infinite and everything is so beautiful. And the only thing that I feel is this overwhelming love, like this intense, incredible, beautiful amount of love. Like you can't even imagine. I mean, I had just held my son for the first time. And this love was so much bigger than that. It was so much bigger than that. And so I keep going out and out and out and out. And then I have these very visceral memories of like hearing snow crunching and being the snow and being a polar bear and like feeling my foot touch the snow and feeling the foot touch me because I am the snow and I'm a part of all of it. It's very cold and I'm the air and I'm a tree and I'm leaves and I'm light and I'm in everything. I'm one with everything. And there's no, nothing is separate from myself, and I'm part of every blade of grass and every molecule of air and every beam of light. Like I'm in it, I'm part of it. And I remember thinking about my son, but I wasn't worried about him because this life is so fast. It's over so quickly. And so I knew like whatever happened, he was going to be okay because in just a moment he was going to be with me. So I didn't have any fear. I kept going up and up and up and out and out and out, and then I came to this place where it's just light. Just light. That's all that there is. And the love gets more and more intense to the point where like I can't contain that emotion in this body. I'm not capable. What I have is like a very tangible memory of it, but when I start to allow myself to feel it, as you can see, I get very emotional. I overflow with it because it's so much bigger than we are. So I'm in this place and there's just this light that I'm one with. I'm part of it. I'm part of the universe. I can feel the very edges of all that exists as a part of myself. And this beautiful love. And then I was given the choice of whether or not to come back. And for whatever reason, in that state, in that place, in the being that I was at the time, it made sense to say yes to that and to come back. And so I came back, and I really do believe I came back for my son, but I also believe I came back to help people heal. And so far, there's been a lot of evidence of that. And one of the things that I have been doing recently are intuitive readings. And the way that this works for me is that I don't do them face to face. Like, I'm not reading your tarot cards for you when I'm talking to you, but what ends up happening is somebody will message me on Facebook, for instance, and ask for a reading. So I charge them $10 because I have to make a living somehow. And then I go away and I draw a card from my, this is the deck I'm using right now. Sometimes I switch, but like I think this one might be the one that I use. It's the Medicine Woman Tarot deck by Carol Bridges. So I draw a card, and I do have the guidebook, but I don't ever give the message that's in the guidebook to the person I'm doing the reading for, because that's not how I use this. The only time I really use the guidebook is for myself, or if I do draw a card for you, I might just look at the word underneath whatever the card is, so that I can tune into the vein of what I'm supposed to be saying to you. So after I draw a card for you, I'm finding that it just flows. I like to believe what's happening is that I'm connecting to somebody that you're attached to on the other side, and they are just, I'm allowing the knowledge to flow through me. It's not from me. The message does not come from my mind. I wish I was that eloquent. But that has been keeping me very busy lately, because I have started recording them in my notebook, and I did figure out that I could print them on my printer and just tape them back in. So I've been doing that, lots of readings. And if you want a reading, let me know. I will put my email in the description box. And if you would like to do a reading, I charge $10 for a reading, $20 if you want a custom essential oil blend to go with it. I'm more than happy to do a reading for you, through email or whatever, because the information doesn't come from me. I'm not giving you you're not having a conversation with somebody that you love on the other side. It's more like, this is the message that I have to give you. So I don't really have to know you. I don't need to be your friend on Facebook. I don't need to know your family. I don't need to know who you love that's passed. I just draw a card, and then whatever message comes, I give to you. So if that's something that you're interested in, by all means, email me or go to my Etsy shop and send me a message on there. Either way, that's what I've been doing. And the reason why I felt it was important to share my near-death experience with you is because I know a lot of people are super freaked out at the idea of tarot cards and messages from the other side and all that. I will just say this, that when I do a reading, I have somebody pick a category and then I draw a card. And the reason is because I have to be able to tune into a specific vibration, specific being, specific channel in order to give a reading. Because if I don't have you pick a category and I don't choose a card, it's kind of like we're all in a crowded cafeteria and everybody's yelling, and I'm trying to have a conversation with you from across the room, and you and I are only allowed to whisper. So it gets a little overwhelming. So the way that I like to describe it is the category is like a destination. So the categories that I use are plants, animals, or humans. It has nothing to do with what you find in your reading. If you choose plants, you're not going to get a message about plants and what vegetables you should eat. It has nothing to do with that. It's like the destination. So this is the message that I'm after. And then I use the tarot card kind of as a roadmap to get there. So you choose the destination, and then I find my way, and then I bring back the message. So it sounds really complicated. It's not. Honestly, what happens is category, card, message falls out onto paper. And sometimes they're really profound, really long messages about different aspects of your personality and yourself. Sometimes I'll ask you for your birthday because they want that information, or whatever. I don't want to say they because I don't want people to think that I'm crazy. Maybe I am. I don't know. I'm just weird. I told you guys this. I warned you. I said that I was weird, and here I am being weird again. So I don't know how it works. It's just how I do it. And if you're interested, let me know, because I would love to do a reading for you. But that's been keeping me kind of busy too. And that's not really something that I can record myself doing, because all it would be is me reading something on a screen, me drawing a card, and then me typing. That's what you would see, because I don't light candles or uncover my crystal ball, or I'm not my ceremonies are all extraordinarily simple because they have to be. I deal with too much in order to like set everything up a perfect way. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying for me personally, like I don't need a crystal grid laid out a certain way. I don't need candles all over the place. I'm literally just going to have you pick a category. I'm going to draw a card. I'm going to give you the message that I get. It works for me. It's straightforward. It's simple. And I don't know. It's just the way that I found that works. I have also done readings with runes before, and it's kind of the same thing. Same as with the cards. I still have to have the person pick a category, and then I kind of go from there. So, anyway, this ability, or whatever you want to call it, this weirdness, this whatever, I've always kind of had these abilities. I do remember as a very small child seeing things that other people didn't see and being told that they weren't real. I have had instances where I've been standing next to somebody and gotten like a really bad headache and then found out later that that person had brain surgery. I have had instances where I've accidentally saved lives. Like, I had a friend who was getting ready to leave, and we were standing in a cafeteria together, and I just got the urge out of nowhere to talk to her about yarn, because we both crochet, or actually she knits. And I didn't think anything of it, but I was kind of like dragging the conversation out. I was really dragging the conversation out. And then she's like, I've really got to go. And I'm like, oh, okay, but oh, wait. And, you know, I just kept going for like another 2 minutes. So she's irritated that I kept her waiting, and her boyfriend at the time was really irritated that I kept him waiting, and so they're off in a hurry. Didn't think anything of it. I went and got some mashed potatoes, sat down, ate my dinner, it was fine. The next day, my friend came and found me and was just bawling her eyes out like she's a total wreck, and she's like, you have no idea, you saved my life yesterday. And I'm like, well, mashed potato what? Mashed but what? Like, I don't understand what's happening. And then she explained to me that her and her boyfriend were on their motorcycle, and they were kind of in a hurry because I had delayed them, and they had somewhere to be. And right in front of them, another motorcycle crashed with like an RV, and that person didn't make it. And she said if we had left even 30 seconds sooner, which is about how long I had delayed her with my yarn conversation, that it would have been them. And these are the kinds of things that happen to me, and I have no, like, I don't know about it ahead of time. I wish that I had any kind of forewarning, because then I could claim that that it was me doing it. Like, I want to take credit, but, you know, stuff like that happens quite frequently. Or I have had instances where I've done reading, and I hadn't really thought that much was that significant. It was just kind of like a general reading. And then the person has been like, oh my God, I can't believe you drew that card. I can't believe you said these words, or whatever the case may be. So, you know, when people ask me how I do what I do, the answer is always, I have no idea. I have no freaking clue what I'm doing. No idea. They don't tell me anything. I just do the things. So, I would be happy to do the things for you. If you would like to have a reading, let me know. If you have questions about it, let me know. I don't know what I'm doing. It's just a thing that I do, and, you know, if it's for you, great. If it's not for you, great. If you have some sort of, like, trauma that you're working past and you want some intuitive guidance, or maybe you've lost somebody recently, I can't guarantee that I can, like, give you a name and, like, tell you that, oh yeah, your grandpa George is on the other side and he wants to. That's not exactly what I do. It's more just like guidance, I guess. I don't know. You'd have to experience it, I guess. So do a reading if you want to know what it is that I do. I've used all the words that I have for it now, so that's that. It does work out. A lot of people have thanked me profusely and told me it's amazing. I very often have had people stop talking to me for a while and then come back later and tell me that they had to stop talking to me because they were a little creeped out. I'm honest, it's okay if I creep you out. I'm not going to apologize for it because this is just who I am. And I've spent way too much of my life feeling like a weirdo, so I'm just going to embrace that. Like, if I'm not for you, that's okay. I can pray for you from here. I can love you from here. You don't have to, if I make you uncomfortable, that's okay. Like, I make myself uncomfortable, so I totally understand. I creep myself out sometimes, and that's no joke. Like, that really does happen. And a lot of times I don't even realize that that's the case until after the fact. So there you have it. That's what I've been up to. A lot of intuitive readings, a lot of crocheting. I will splice in those Bernie pictures. If I didn't do it earlier in the video, it's because I'm not tech savvy, so they'll probably be at the end or the beginning. Somewhere in this video you will see the finished Bernie. And yeah, you know, let me know if you want to do a reading. I will gladly do one for you with minimal information and see what we get, because that's a lot of fun. They are $10. I'm sorry I can't work for free. However, I do accept barters if you like keep bees or something and you want to trade for honey, or if you do readings, you know, I think that's fun too. So yeah, that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and my weird and random ramblings, my near-death experience story, and me talking about my readings. I don't even know if that's what I should call them. That's what I'm calling them, because what else would I call them? If you happen to have more information about what it is that I'm doing and maybe have the words to put to this, like, I would love that information, because I don't know what it's called. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go before I keep rambling. Don't forget that you are sacred, beloved, precious beings of infinite worth, and that there is no one on this earth that could ever replace you. Take care of yourselves and each other. Make sure you drink lots of water, wash your hands, wear your masks, and be kind. Be kind to yourself, be kind to each other, just be kind. And I look forward to seeing you again at the next one. Alright guys, love you. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.